Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so if you're tracking the tech world at all right now, you're probably seeing it everywhere. This constant talk about the automation dilemma,
Hmm.
the whole AI is here, robots are coming, human jobs are basically, well, doomed. It feels like the central anxiety of our time.
It really does. And look, it's an understandable fear, right?
Huh.
But maybe it's based on this idea that the only way forward is replacement.
Humans out, machines in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the sources we're digging into today, they offer a really different take. We're looking at EON Reality's approach, something they call Human 2.0.
Human 2.0, okay.
Yeah, and the core idea isn't replacement. It's augmentation. Giving workers, and they actually use this phrase, superhuman capabilities, using things like spatial AI and augmented reality.
Superhuman capabilities,
Yeah.
that's a bold claim. So our mission today is to really unpack that, cut through the hype and understand this alternative vision, because this isn't just talk, right?
No, not at all.
The sources suggest this platform is trying to fix a huge, tangible problem, something like an $850 billion inefficiency in the market, caused by what? Bad training, fragmented knowledge?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
You've got this massive economic drag from just things not being documented well, skills gaps, ineffective training. Human 2.0 basically says, let's fix that by empowering the humans, not by getting rid of them.
Okay.
The whole goal is keeping people central to work, central to society. AI is positioned strictly as a tool, like an intelligent co-pilot. It assists, it doesn't take over.
A co-pilot, not the pilot.
Precisely. There's a quote from the CEO that sums it up nicely. The AI era should not be framed as a battle between humans and machines. Workers should stand on the shoulders of digital giants instead of being replaced by them.
Standing on the shoulders of digital giants. I like that framing. Okay, so let's unpack those giants. If augmentation is the key, how does it actually work? What is the spatial intelligence they talk about? And why is it supposedly so much better than, the robots and automation we've already tried, which haven't really solved that $850 billion issue?
The good question. So traditional automation, whether it's software or actual robots, often hits a wall. It's expensive to deploy, requires complex infrastructure, and it's usually pretty rigid. It doesn't handle unexpected stuff well.
Okay.
Spatial intelligence kind of sidesteps that. It works by creating this incredibly accurate, interactive digital layer over the real world. It's like a smart overlay. And this relationship, this symbiosis between the user and the system, relies on a couple of core technologies. A dual-purpose tech stack, actually.
Dual purpose. Okay, let's start with the intelligence part. The brain, maybe.
Yeah.
What makes the system smart?
Yeah, the brain is a good way to put it. That's the first piece, EON Digital Twin IQ. What's really innovative here is that it does two things at once.
Okay.
It helps you solve the immediate problem you're facing right now. But while it's doing that, it's also capturing the entire process, turning that solution into a permanent, reusable knowledge asset for the company.
How does it capture all that? We're talking more than just like video recording, right?
Oh, way beyond that. Think millimeter precision mapping of the environment. It uses something called sensor fusion.
Sensor fusion. Explain that a bit.
Sure. It's basically blending data from all the inputs, cameras, gyroscopes, LiDAR, you name it, to create this super accurate real-time 3D model of whatever space you're in.
Got it.
And once that digital space exists, you get these AI-powered avatars. They're trained on huge amounts of specific knowledge for that industry or task, and they can guide you right there within that photorealistic digital twin of your real environment.
So it maps a room, understands everything in it, and then basically beams in an expert guide. That sounds impressive. But how reliable is it? Can it really tell the difference between, say, the right valve and the wrong one in a complex factory?
Well, the sources are pretty emphatic on this. They cite a key metric, 99.7% accuracy in identifying equipment and hazards.
99.7%.
Yeah, tested across multiple industrial pilots. But the really mind-bending part for me is that knowledge permanence. Every single thing the human does, every annotation, every bit of guidance the AI gives, it's all captured instantly.
Right.
So you're building this permanent, searchable digital twin library while people are just doing their job.
That directly addresses that $850 billion problem, doesn't it? You're basically turning tribal knowledge and undocumented fixes into instant corporate memory. That expert technician retires, their knowledge isn't lost.
Exactly. It's integrated. So, okay, Digital Twin IQ builds this amazing corporate brain, but how do you actually get that knowledge to the person who needs it? The technician on the oil rig, the nurse in the OR.
Yeah, the interface. How do they access it hands-free?
That's the second component. EON GuideLens. This is the worker's interface. Think AR-enabled glasses, maybe paired with wristbands, delivering that spatial intelligence right into their field of view. And they're rolling it out in phases.
Phases make sense. What's the difference between phase 1 and phase 2? Because that seems pretty crucial to understanding the power here.
Totally. Phase 1, which they're saying starts in 2025, is focused on the practical, immediate stuff, like heads-up display guidance, think digital instructions floating in your view.
Okay, like a checklist.
Sort of, yeah. A smart checklist that also automatically logs tasks and verifies compliance. Very useful, very practical.
And phase 2, slated for 2026.
Phase 2 is where it gets really augmented reality. Immersive AR overlays, integration with digital twin telemetry, AI spotting errors as you make them.
Okay, unpack telemetry integration there.
Right. So phase 1 might show you text, check pressure valve. Phase 2 lets you see the actual real-time pressure reading digitally overlaid right onto the physical valve itself, or the electrical current on a wire.
Ah, okay. So you're seeing live data on the physical object.
Exactly. That ability to see real-time performance data fused with the physical world. That's where the superhuman part starts to feel, well, less like hype.
That jump from just guidance to integrated live contextual data, that's huge. Let's shift to the user experience. If you compare the old way manuals, classrooms, to this human 2.0 model, what are the big light bulb moments for the person actually wearing the GuideLens?
The sources point to basically 4 huge shifts in capability. It really changes what being skilled even means.
Okay.
First, obviously how you learn. Forget dusty manuals and boring PowerPoints that you forget instantly.
We've all been there.
Right. Instead, you get AI avatar guidance in real time in the actual place you're working exactly when you need it. Learning happens on the job.
Okay, that leads to the second point they mentioned, zero downtime skill development.
Yes. Now that sounds a bit like jargon, I know.
A little bit, yeah.
Huh.
How can you really learn something complex without dedicated training time? Isn't that just learning badly while trying to work?
That's the clever part, tied to the economics. Traditional training costs money. You pay the trainee, the trainer, and you lose productivity.
Right, it's a cost center.
Exactly. But here, because the AI avatar provides such precise guidance and verification while the person is doing the actual task, even a total novice can be productive safely from day one.
Yeah.
The training cost gets absorbed into the productive work. You basically eliminate that separate training budget hit.
Okay, now that $850 billion figure feels much more concrete. You're collapsing the cost of training into productive output.
Precisely. Third big shift. Access to expertise. It becomes global. No more waiting for the one senior person on shift who knows how to fix that weird machine. You get instant access to world-class AI avatars trained by the absolute best, no matter where you are physically located. And the fourth one is adaptability.
How so?
Well, standard operating procedures are rigid. They break down when things get weird or unexpected. Human 2.0 gives dynamic guidance. It adjusts not just to the task, but gets this, it adjusts based on the user's skill level and even supposedly their emotional state, like if they seem stressed or hesitant.
Whoa, okay. Adapting to emotional state, that's next level. Adds a whole layer of safety, I imagine. Okay, this is fascinating conceptually, but let's make it real. The sources gave specific examples, right? Let's ground this in those use cases.
Absolutely. Let's start with a really high-stakes one.
Yeah.
Healthcare. Imagine a surgical nurse using GuideLens during an operation.
Okay.
The AR overlays aren't just showing steps. They're guiding instrument placement in real time, confirming sterile technique visually. And the AI is automatically logging photo and video proof for compliance in the background.
And the results?
Pretty stunning, according to the sources. A 60% drop in training-related errors.
60%.
60. And 95% procedural accuracy achieved by the augmented staff. That's not just efficiency. That's potentially life-saving.
No kidding. Wow. Okay, what about heavy industry, those remote, challenging environments?
Good example in the energy sector. Picture this. A technician flies into a remote Alaskan facility. There's a pump broken, a model they've never encountered before.
Okay, tough spot.
Right, so they put on the GuideLens, start the digital twin IQ session. The AI instantly identifies the pump, pulls up the global knowledge, and walks them through the repair step by step with overlays. And crucially, because of that phase 2 telemetry,
The live data.
yeah, the system flashes the warning directly in their view. Danger. Pressure levels critical.
Yeah.
Based on real-time sensor readings. And then that entire troubleshooting session, it instantly becomes a permanent digital twin training module for the next person. Physical isolation doesn't mean knowledge isolation anymore.
That's incredibly powerful. It completely changes the game for remote work. And the third example hit on democratization, right? Education.
Yeah, and this might be the biggest social impact. Think about a student in a rural high school.
Hmm.
They probably don't have access to, say, an expensive NMR machine for chemistry labs.
No, definitely not. Huge cost and space barrier.
Exactly. But with this, they can put on glasses and use a photorealistic digital twin of that exact machine. They virtually operate it, twist the knobs, analyze the output, all with AI guidance correcting them instantly. The claim is a 90% cut in equipment costs and a 300% increase in student access to this kind of advanced tech.
300% increase in access. That starts to break down those geographic and economic barriers to quality education.
It really levels the playing field.
Yeah.
Makes advanced knowledge accessible anywhere.
That promise of global democratization of expertise is huge. But let's play devil's advocate for a second. If it's so great, why isn't everyone doing this already? And practically even AR glasses and software aren't free. How does this stack up against just building better robots? Why not just automate the task entirely?
That's a fair challenge, and the sources tackle it directly. It really comes down to cost, speed, and, frankly, suitability for the real world versus a controlled environment.
Okay, so why is this AR plus human approach winning on cost against full robotics?
The numbers are pretty stark. EON's AR/AI augmentation route is cited as having 90% lower deployment costs compared to traditional robotic systems.
90% lower. Why such a huge difference?
Because robots often need massive factory floor reconfigurations, dedicated safety cages, complex installation, calibration. It's a huge capital expense and takes ages. This system leverages the existing environment and the human already there.
At speed.
You can roll out GuideLens systems globally in weeks. Getting a complex robotic cell designed, installed, and running smoothly can take years. Plus, robots honestly are still pretty bad at dealing with unexpected situations or unstructured environments.
Right, like that cluttered factory floor during an emergency repair you mentioned.
Exactly. Humans, especially AI-augmented humans, are brilliant at that kind of adaptation. Robots, not so much. So the argument is augmentation is cheaper, faster, and ultimately more flexible for the messy reality of most jobs.
Cheaper, faster, more adaptable. Okay, so let's zoom out to the big picture again. If companies really embrace this human 2.0 model, what are the broader implications for jobs, for society?
Well, the most immediate one is job preservation. Instead of being replaced, workers get these AI-boosted skills, which makes them more valuable, not less.
Yeah.
It actually accelerates their professional development.
How so?
Because the learning is continuous, integrated into the work. It's active skill creation. You're constantly upskilling while being productive, which should theoretically lead to faster promotions, higher value roles.
And that democratization piece we touched on with education, that has wider economic effects too, right?
Absolutely. If small manufacturers in developing regions or rural schools suddenly have access to the same level of expertise as giant corporations or wealthy districts, well, that starts to genuinely reduce industrial and educational inequality on a global scale.
It becomes an engine for inclusion, potentially.
That's the vision, making top-tier knowledge readily available regardless of your zip code.
Okay, but whenever we talk about tech that directly meshes with human thought and action, especially with things like neural bands mentioned, we have to talk ethics. How do they address the risk of making workers too reliant on the AI? What about autonomy?
Yeah, it's the critical question. And the platform's core philosophy is stated as human agency first.
Human agency first. What does that mean in practice?
It means it's supposedly built into the system's design. The AI is always presented as an assistant, an advisor. It provides information, highlights risks, suggests actions, but the human always makes the final call.
So the human can always override the AI.
Explicitly, the system is designed to augment judgment, not replace it. Even looking ahead at future, more advanced interfaces, the sources stress that preserving human control and decision-making is the absolute priority. They want to keep those ethical boundaries very clear.
That distinction feels crucial. The human stays in charge, even when using incredibly powerful tools. That seems to be the core message against that initial fear of replacement.
It absolutely is. It reframes the future as humans working with AI to enhance our own capabilities, our speed, our safety, not handing over the reins.
So to recap, we've looked at the Human 2.0 platform as a counter-narrative to the automation doom loop. It uses EON digital twin IQ to capture and retain knowledge permanently,
Right, fixing that knowledge drain.
and EON GuideLens to deliver that knowledge, plus real-time data and guidance directly to the worker via AR.
Turning anyone into a highly capable, continuously learning expert, basically.
Tackling huge market inefficiencies, potentially reducing errors, democratizing expertise, and doing it faster and cheaper than full robotics, all while keeping the human in control.
That's the pitch. And the long-term vision, while sounding sci-fi with non-invasive neural interfaces, stays grounded in that human agency first principle. Direct thought to AI communication is the goal, but explicitly without sacrificing autonomy.
Okay, so if we accept this augmented future for a moment, if knowledge recall is handled by the digital twin and procedural skill is learned on the fly with AI guidance, it really makes you wonder what is left that's uniquely valuable about the human worker.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the provocative thought to leave you with. If the system takes care of knowing what to do and how to do it with near perfection, what skills become the new premium? Is it judgment, creativity, empathy, strategic thinking? What's the next essential human capability we all need to cultivate in this augmented world?